mean, really, it was just the lowest point in my life. That a lot of things happened. Mainly my alcohol intake increased, the numbness, the depressive thinking, the intrusive thoughts. It was all there. It was all there. And I didn't know how to deal with it, let alone talk to somebody about it. Because again, both cultures that I came from, whether being talking about a black inner city kid or talking about a strong military member who's, designed to lead, telling you that I didn't know the answer was the last thing I could do. Not knowing created the biggest amount of anxiety I could ever have, because I thought that meant that I wasn't prepared and I couldn't handle what was happening to me. Um, but but there was this point of transformation, and it happened by meeting a mentor at a dinner party. Now, this story in itself is very significant for me, but as I know my mentor, he would want me to move on to get to the spiritual nature of our interaction rather than just talk about how cool he is as a person. That's kind of duty is. And I know he's probably watching or will watch the recording. I just want to say, man, I love you. But he had decided to sit down with me for 3 days and explain how my mind really worked. Um, man, it was a transformational moment. And I knew something had changed. I just didn't know what. Me and him would sit in one room and we would have this conversation, this spiritual conversation, while 50 people in the next room were watching us on camera. And at some point in that interaction, it became apparent that something had changed in my eyes, in my appearance, in my feeling. And so much so that the 50 people in the next room wanted to ask questions. And I remember he was asking me what changed. And in trying to articulate it, I realized I was bullshitting. I realized I didn't know what changed. And it was this moment, and it may not sound significant, but it was so pivotal to me because from what my mentor was teaching me, I decided to trust it. And if he was right, it was going to come out here. And I turned to the gentleman and I said, man, I don't know. I don't know. I said, I just learned this about 15 minutes ago you've seen me on camera. You know I came in here, you know what my problem was. I have no idea what's just happened to me. And when I sat back in the feeling of thinking that the rejection would come, when I sat to weather the storm of the amount of frowns I would get and the amount of dismissive things I thought people would say to me for not knowing the answer, I saw nothing but smiles. I saw people touching their heart. I saw tears rolling down people's faces that opened me up to a whole new world. And it was the moment that I realized that I was okay. I realized that I was safe and I realized I wasn't broken. And if those three things were true, those three things were true, everything about my life had to change.